I believe that Terrarians often speedrun the game and never take their time on their worlds. I want to change that, so over the course of a year, I will be playing on this one world, with each stage of progression being blocked until the start of a new month. I'm doing this so I can seriously take my time in each stage of Terraria Clamity mod's progression and see what it has to offer. So for the month of June, I am only allowed to defeat Skeletron Prime, Calamitas clones, and Plantera. Otherwise, I can make no other form of progression. This is what happened. So, I got a glimpse of what Skeletron Prime was going to be like last month because the boss spawned naturally. Of course, I didn't fight it because the boss was not yet unlocked, but it was definitely a sight to behold. Now, when I started this challenge and made this world, I decided to go for Master Revengeance mode. Keep in mind, I had zero understanding of how these difficulties work together and chose Master thinking it'd be good for the relics and the pet drops. Turns out Expert is what most people recommend you choose, and last month, Calamity had an update that evidently changed what the bosses are like in Master Mode Revengeance. I didn't notice anything last month, but this week, I came to the awful realization that I may now be in way over my head.
There we go. Whoa, buddy, calm down. This is not right. What the heck? And why is he the twins now? This is Skeletron Prime. He shouldn't be have two heads. Okay, I think we figured out how to not be just spam attacked, so that's good. Wonder when the next phase is going to happen. That's not going to be fun, is it? Oh, what the heck? That's, ooh. Why was the destroyer here?
Fellow YouTuber Cataclysmic had warned me, in much more colorful words, that Skeletron Prime is actually unfair.
What is this boss? What the heck?
It would seem he was not off base in the least. Every battle was going absolutely nowhere. At best, I could get to the point that the destroyer would spawn, but I was blown away immediately after.
Okay, hold up. Summoner might actually be cooking. Oh, never mind. Oh!
I tried Summoner for a hot second, but my class was not the issue.
Okay, it looks like my DPS has gone up, and I fell down here again. This is not how I'm supposed to be doing this. Hold up. There we go. Ah!
But you see, I didn't really want to expand my arena because the one consistency I did find with Skeletron Prime thus far is that going in a straight line is a good way to avoid damage. And so I started making the Great Railway. Side note, you might have noticed the blood moon during the last Skeletron Prime fight. Well, before testing my rails, I needed to make it night again and, well...
What do you mean three blood moons in a row?
So I tested the rail, but it was way too short to figure out if it was a good idea.
Never mind me, Skeletron. No!
I'm pretty sure the Summoner class is also not the best choice for a railway strategy, so I figured I'd return to the Rogue class, but then again, none of my weapons have the usability I need for the battle. The only other weapon I'm considering is the Kelvin Catalyst. Not sure how it works, but I could craft it to find out. Only problem is that I need 2 more drops from the Cryogen to make the thing. I killed the Ice Cube twice! Still takes forever to kill him, and neither time did he drop what I was after, so not interested in farming the Ice Cube endlessly, I figured I'd just use Mage. We just need to make a longer railway now, but not fully commit as I need to figure out if it even works.
Cheese! Cheese my way to victory! Cheese, you gotta cheese my way to victory. Ouch. This is actually incredibly effective. I don't know if it'll remain that way into the other phases. That's the big question. Okay, we have the destroyer here now. How is he going to change things for us? Ouch.
That's good enough, I think. With more runway, I could potentially put myself in a better position since Destroyer hit me on the way back, so I extended the rail out to the Sulfuric Sea. However, that was not the solution.
Destroyer, calm down. Calm down, Destroyer. So much damage. Oh, right into the head. That was unfortunate timing.
Enacting insanity mode.
Let's try it again with no adjustments to our strategy. Oh, right in the... Ooh.
Okay, so maybe the rails are a bust. I tried the Sulfuric Sea Arena from last month as it allowed for more vertical movement, but that did not help either. Returning to the rails, I thought that maybe I could do a hybrid strategy, using the rails to start off the battle, and then Destroyer appears, dismounts, and use the arena. This did get me farther than I ever had before, but...
What are you supposed to do against all this? What the heck?
I had a new idea. Maybe I can continue to establish myself as the mumbo jumbo of Terraria like I did last month and do something with wiring.
I didn't mean to do that! Leave me alone! No! I didn't mean to summon you. Go on and get.
There's the thing called a logic sensor that activates whenever the player is above it. This is vanilla, by the way. All this wiring stuff, this is vanilla. The plan is to replace the current rails with booster tracks. That way I can mount and dismount the track at any point and benefit from the speed. My current problem with the track is that once I dismount, I can't get back on. But if I can, maybe I can win. Only problem is that the booster tracks cost a whole lot of money. Guess I'll need to farm the brain for money, and I was not ready for what was in store for me.
He's been buffed. Whoa! This is not... What is this? I'm gonna lose to the brain. Oh, okay, we live, okay.
This came as quite the shock. Last month, I didn't notice much of a difference with the bosses, but I guess I don't know them all that well. Didn't expect to see major changes to the brain either.
Calamity. What have you done? Master mode is a nightmare now. I legitimately don't know if I'll even be able to beat the game. If it's going to be this tough, I might not be good enough for it anymore.
I had enough money, and so I removed all of the rails I had just placed and conducted a quick test of the booster tracks and logic gate. Looks like it works as intended. I'll just change the wiring so that all the tracks change, and I don't end up bouncing back and forth like I was here. So the booster tracks replaced the regular rails. Had to then wire every single one of these booster tracks, but then learned that the sensor does not work how I thought it did, and it was activating every time I entered and left the sensor's range. I thought it was just like once you enter it and then that would change and not when you go back out. So I ended up bouncing back and forth like before. That's what I'm saying. Okay, back to something less fancy. A pressure plate minecart track with a bumper at the end to ensure I only press it once. I did that and rode all the way down to ensure it worked as intended and had no issues. But then I tried an actual battle.
Wait, what? But I literally rode along the whole thing and never ran into an issue. What the heck?
And before we continue, if you've been enjoying the video, consider subscribing. At the end of the year, I'll be firing one mini nuke 2 from this rocket launcher for every subscriber that I have. So if you've been enjoying the video and want to support long-form content like this, consider subscribing. I flew along the track and kept finding random points where the booster tracks were not changing. They did the first time, but now every time I press the button, it feels like it's activating fewer and fewer booster tracks. Not sure what the problem is. Maybe it's a limit on block updates or limitations on the wiring activating so many things at once. As much as I'd love to troubleshoot, I need to kill the boss eventually. So this basically means I need to scrap the whole Rails idea. That took a long time. I could have tested using more pressure plate rails and have them more spread out and activate fewer of the rails at once, but I thought I'd just try using an arena normally. I did this also partially because I remembered this weapon called the Wyvern's Call exists and is far superior against Destroyer, and so maybe it will work. The answer? Yes, it helped, but not enough. The arena is definitely still too small though, so I expanded it considerably. After so many battles, I had an epiphany. It would seem that I don't take contact damage from some of Skeletron Prime's hands, so I intentionally ran into some of them in the heads. By the looks of it, the heads only do damage either when they are spiky or at the very least spinning. And then there's a saw hand that also does contact damage. I still have no idea if the grabby hand does contact damage, and the saw hand looks identical to the one that shoots bombs or rockets. In this one's case, not the clearest what I can and can't avoid, but not needing to avoid every part of this boss allows a lot more flexibility in where and how I move and dodge. One issue due to the massive number of lasers is knockback, so I sacrificed some of my mage buffs and revive for knockback immunity, which was a very big help. I never actually survived the revive cooldown anyways, even with some of these adjustments though. I could not get much farther in the fight and was playing not improving. Not getting worse, but I have no idea how to dodge the random lasers shot all over the arena. I switched to Daedalus armor, which is about on tier with what I've been using. Not sure if it's actually helpful, but it's a change. What did make a massive difference was using the Brimstone rose weapon. It has lower DPS to single targets, but this turned out to be a massive help. See, the web of lasers did enough damage to the hands to clear them while not doing too much damage to the heads that Destroyer spawns, because Destroyer spawn is linked to Skeletron Prime's head's health. Basically, this allowed me to clear twice as many hands or more before the second boss even appeared, making that second phase much more manageable. It's still not enough to win, but another small step.
Laser hand, ba-da-dum-bum-bum. Who can shoot my sunrise? Who can shoot my sunrise? Shoot it really good. Ooh, make me really miserable because you shot my sunrise. The laser can. The laser hand, oh, the laser hand can, the laser hand can.
If you can't tell, the laser hand was the bane of my existence. Always focused the hardest on that one, and then the saw hand, because it would always hover right next to me and it was really obnoxious. Oh, and I did get to the twins that time, and yes, once Destroyer leaves, the twins decide to spawn not long after. It's stupid. At the very least, I was able to get a bit further into the battle than I was able to before, primarily because more of Prime's hands were gone, so there were fewer projectiles to deal with during the Destroyer segment, but it still wasn't good enough. I also want to make a request of the devs. Skeletron Prime spawns and rushes you to the point where you can't even switch off of the summon, like the mechanical skull, before Prime is on top of you, and occasionally the Destroyer would spawn directly on my path and hit me before I could even react. Basically, could all the bosses just take like 1 more second to spawn so there's time to, well, do something? I always have to ride the rail when I spawn Prime to avoid being hit and killed immediately after spawning him. One issue with the Destroyer after he spawns is the probes. They don't follow any pattern, so you just have to rely on reaction speed while also dodging a million other lasers from the bosses. So I use the SHPC after Destroyer spawn, and it does a splendid job at handling the probes. But it also took 10 times longer to get the Destroyer to leave, which isn't sustainable. When I did get to the twins though, I no longer had a good single target weapon at the ready.
The other bosses are like this. I'm just going to have to enable one of the cheat things or something that lets me lower the difficulty, because Wonder One World, we're not supposed to just be spending entire weeks just fighting a boss and trying to beat it.
Here's the full strategy. Spawn Prime while on rails to get some free damage and not get killed on spawn. Use the Brimstone staff to clear the hands without summoning Destroyer, paired to the Golden Shower to lower defense. When Destroyer spawns, use Wyvern Call when the Destroyer is nearby, and switch to the SHPC when surrounded by probes. Use Rada Discord to get around Destroyer when it inevitably pushes me off the arena. When twins spawn, use Seething Discharge for the remainder of the battle, and finally, pray.
Oh, it's almost day. Come on. Come on.
Oh, finally down. Oh. That took 41 attempts just to kill that boss once. Now in Calamity, killing all 3 mechs makes hollowed ore spawn in the hollow, so I mined all of the ore my heart desired, crafted armor for my mage and summoner, as well as a few new weapons, but I need Souls of Sight for 2 of the weapons I want, and when I tried fighting the twins, turns out they have seen a major upgrade as well, and I'm out of time for the week, so I guess I'll need to return and see how to kill them. Here's to hoping the other bosses in the game don't give me nearly as much trouble. The second week of June begins, and I'm concerned once again. I wanted to collect Souls of Sight for those aforementioned weapons, but the twins were not cooperating by kindly perishing. Instead, they became a problem similar to the accursed Skeletron Prime. I couldn't put much of a dent in them at first, but upon both of them entering second phase, I quickly learned that if I focused heavily on my vertical, I stood a chance at the very least. But even then, I wouldn't stand a chance without the pillion mount. This strategy only worked for so long, and they're still really hard to dodge.
They cook like they got no business to. These guys are professional chefs. They need to stop.
I just couldn't get them past half health without dying, and I didn't want to consume all of my potions after burning through so many against Skeletron Prime. I don't have quality of life mods that get me free or easy potions. I got to actually fish for all my materials, and I don't have quality of life to make fishing easier either. All I need are Souls of Sight too. These mechs are having me seriously scared of the rest of Calamity, because the point of One Year One World isn't to spend entire weeks on beating one boss at a time. Messing around with the boss and doing silly things with them for a week, sure, but beating it for the sake of normal progression? Not so much. I didn't anticipate the difficulty having a ludicrous spike mid-run. If the other bosses are going to be as much of an issue as the mechs, I might need to use another mod to lower the difficulty, which would really suck. Anyways, I was told the Drunk Princess candles could be helpful. Turns out you need to have this thing called the Fab Souls vodka in your inventory to get her to move in. The Drunk Princess, by the way, is a modded Calamity NPC. After making the vodka thing, I also realized that I had the optic staff, so I could shimmer it to craft the other items I wanted with the Souls of Sight, such as the hollowed pickaxe that I need to mine chlorophyte. I also made 2 rogue weapons that I thought would be nice, but I don't end up actually using them, silly little me. I'm also able to upgrade 1 set of Terra Spark boots into angel treads. I could make 2 more probably, but I need feathers, and I don't feel like farming harpies right now. I'm itching for chlorophyte, so I mine it all to craft full chlorophyte armor for my mage. I'm also surprised Calamity didn't add hardly any recipes for chlorophyte. Like, why? It's kind of a cool ore. The Drunk Princess spawns in this time, and she works entirely differently than she used to. You used to be able to buy a bunch of these candle things that give you passive buffs like campfires, but now each candle is super expensive and functions more as an enchantment table where you click on it once and get the buff. On top of that, only 1 candle's buff can be active at once. They're all a little confusing exactly how they work if you ask me, and their benefits might be mostly unnoticeable, but I went with one that improves my regen. Still searching for ways to improve my chances against the twins, I visited this one NPC who sells a mage weapon I hadn't seen before, and is perhaps one of the coolest weapons I've ever seen. And you know I like something when I got to use this weapon while farming a solar eclipse. Was hoping that the enemies would drop this veil thing that I know the eclipse enemies are supposed to drop at some points, and I need those drops for the next rogue armor and progression, but none of the enemies were dropping the veil, so I guess that's at another point of progression, maybe Post-plantera or something. Doing this did show me, however, that this weapon barfs so many projectiles out there that it's hard to keep track of the enemies or their projectiles. I am happy with the weapon. It's called a cryophobia, by the way, and I figure I'll check out Plantera to see if she's going to be a problem like the mechs were. Had to mine out a path to this pre-generated arena. Really love it. I also noticed that the chlorophyte armor step bonus is different in Calamity. The leaf does not shoot. It pulses, and those pulses do damage. It also heals me occasionally, and this upsets me greatly. I love my auto turret on the head. Gosh darn it, Calamity devs, your changes to the game are not making me very happy right now. Let's see if my displeasure will increase with the Plantera battle.
I'm currently enjoying this and how it's just shooting. That's a lot of shooting. That was a lot of shooting. Plant raw. Calm down.
I don't think that first test really gave me a good gauge of what the boss will be like. So I summoned her again and managed to bring her all the way to second phase without any potions, and that's a very, very good sign. Maybe only the mechs have been turned into hyper dangerous monstrosities. So I figured I'd give the battle a real attempt after removing the center island because it kept blocking my freeze gun. I love this arena, it's super cool, hate breaking it, but it must be done. This next attempt taught me that Plantera dashes in her second phase.
Oh, what was that? Plant raw. What are you doing there, buddy?
Ended up losing, kind of a shame, but the battle sure does have a whole lot more things to dodge than, in vanilla. I lost again because apparently the clingers detached from the boss and hunt me down, and they kept doing a lot of damage without noticing. I really didn't think Plantera would be much of a problem.
Okay, we're not doing so hot. I must say, I would like to be doing hot because fire worked good against plant. Pokemon taught me this.
Somehow I did end up killing the boss.
Okay, we got the boss, and it didn't take a million attempts. Woohoo!
One drop Calamity adds to Plantera is this thing called living shards. These allow for a bunch of different items to be crafted, which would be cool. A lot of recipes require a modded ore called perennial ore, so I checked out the recent text messages to see if it mentioned where or if the ore had generated, and saw nothing interesting other than that the desert sands shift intensely. Not sure what that means. From here, I need to spend a bit of time collecting materials to craft parts for different recipe trees, or whatever they're called. Also remember to clean up the hollow spread I missed last month, and had to make a corrupted sandy area for dark shard farming. And of course, more life shards are required, and thus Plantera must be killed again.
Ow, was not paying attention. There are clouds. Remember, Thorbin, there are clouds. They do damage. You don't touch the clouds. All right, die, you stupid, filthy cabbage. My cabbages! Stop it. I'm trying to farm you. You're a plant, right? You should like that. Or maybe that's why they don't like me. I don't know. Do plants like being farmed? Question of the decade. Thankfully, I was able to actually kill the thing, so farming is viable, and I didn't just get lucky. Got all the living shard weapons I wanted, which is what the green beam is all about. It's a weapon I made with the living shards, and it's stupidly good. Piercing infinitely, going through walls, and dealing a lot of damage. Oh, hard mode dungeon is a thing now, and I figured Spectre armor would be great. I love Spectre armor, it's my favorite thing ever. Farmed a few other things and opened most of the dungeon chest. Was actually surprised by how there was nothing here I really needed. Spawn rates felt higher than normal, and drop rates felt like they were also twice as high. So I got everything I wanted in no time at all. I also went to make Master Ninja Gear, which I probably won't actually use, but learned that I only have one climbing claw, and Calamity didn't add a recipe for more climbing claws, and shoe spikes can't be shimmered into them, so yeah, I only got the one. Both of those facts are a bit of a surprise. Calamity has a lot of recipes for several other early game accessories, so I figured they'd add one for climbing claws. I guess I can fish for more. But I got Spectre armor and this accessory called Living Dew. I'm building out a tanky mage loadout, which feels weird, but I want to see how well I can make it work. A good test for it would be against the Sand Shark, which I think is what the sand shifting thing was about. This mini boss can be summoned after Plantera. Woohoo, Sand Shark! I've been wanting to fight this boss for the longest time. We did Infernum when I first heard that it exists. What are these numbers on the bottom left of my screen? But also, I've been longing to fight this thing for so long. It's a Sand Shark, and it's sand. I love it. Still excited about the mini boss, but he's a bit underwhelming. All he does is hop in and out of the sand. Shark of the sand. So cool. Sand Shark. Oh, look at the relic. Oh, the relic. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. Look at the Sand Shark. I love him. I love him so much. He is my favorite boyo. Oh, wait. I have confirmed. Spectre armor is a little transparent. Huh. I did notice that the Spectre armor healing also wasn't working normally. Occasionally it healed me, but only occasionally. The set bonus read the same as it is in vanilla, so as far as I'm aware, it should function the same way. Don't tell me the devs changed my favorite armor set. No, Calamity devs. Please, no! I farmed the shark for the skills that it drops, and those can make a few weapons, including a Sharknado reskin, but it shoots dirt balls and not sharks. Whoa. There was also a magic missile upgrade that was really funky because once it's shot, you can't shoot it again until it hits something, so I found myself launching it in a direction where it could feasibly fly across the whole world, and sure enough, I assume that's what it did because I would shoot the thing and it wouldn't let me use the weapon again for some 10 seconds until it presumably hit something. It's pretty silly. It also doesn't function like the magic missile normally does. Seems to have a harder time targeting enemies when you let go. That is a weird weapon. I don't like it. It's bad. Bad weapon. All right. The theme of this week, I guess, was just collecting things, upgrading, and gearing up. And I finished the week doing exactly that. Finding and mining perennial ore and farming Plantera just a little bit more, stretching myself to kill the thing without potions. Before we do anything else this week, I can't help but notice how the Desert Scourge relic is a little different looking. So I gotta figure out what it looks like now. Whoa. Oh, this is pretty cool. And it opens its mouth and it gets close to you. I love that detail. It definitely matches the style they've been going for. Oh my goodness, a big meaty chunks. What's the big meaty chunk? Hold on, how does the big boss do that? Oh my goodness. Oh, the chunks. This is going to be, this is like R-rated now. This week just might be the shortest in all of my One Year One World videos. Earlier this month, I expanded the arena in the skies, but I only expanded the platform so I could focus on actually killing the bosses, as I wanted to make sure I could actually, kill Skeletron Prime in the first place. Well, I figured that now is a good time to actually finish the build properly, as I plan on this arena being the main arena for future bosses. It took a good long time to place all the blocks and align all of the Skyware lanterns properly. When it was finished, I thought I might as well fight the final boss available this month, the Calamitas clone. Hopefully, it won't be as painful as Skeletron Prime. Bring it on, buddy boys. I have peaceful music playing as I do this. That means you're easy. We want to no-hit this thing. That's what we're going to do. Just watch. It's going to happen. It's so going to happen. Oh wait, what? He transformed? Oh, this is like bullet hell. I don't think I can do damage. Ooh! Oh, let's go! Wait, that means that I use adrenaline right when he went into- oh, that makes me upset. Wait, am I actually- I've no-hit this- I've legitimately no-hit the boss so far, right? I don't think I've taken any damage. Oh, right, we got the two fast ones now. Oh! Not hit, not yet, hits. We still haven't been hits. Let's go, come on, I want this. I want this so bad. All right. Whew, that was close. I fought this thing in like, the Get Fixed Boy and Infernum, and maybe I've just got so used to fighting it in those that that this, the actual fight, the normal fight has become significantly easier. I don't know. Whoa! Okay, that didn't hit. Oh! Come on. Come on. Oh, no. No! Oh my god, so far! I was right about to use a Rod of Discord to get out of there, too! No! Man, that is frustrating. I wanted to no-hit it so bad. Maybe I'll have to come back to the boss and no-hit him just for the sake of doing it. The boss dropped a new crafting material that could make several things, but none of them would seem to be helpful for me other than this new shield that combined the shield I use for a dash and the Ankh shield. Now this next part, this is why the week is so short. See, I spent the next 3 hours on a single build underground. What is the build for? The Old One's Army, an event Calamity does not touch in any way, last I checked, and none of the drops are going to be very helpful for me. After all, the army does not drop any summon or rogue weapons, and the mage one is just kind of okay. I guess I can get my trademark Betsy wings, but that's just about it. But whatever the case, for some reason I cannot hope to explain, I felt compelled to make this epic arena. This is the build that makes me feel the most like a builder than anything else, purely because I spent 3 hours on it, didn't finish, and wasn't bored, only stopping because time ran out for the week. Using cracked dungeon brick? Whoa! Who's ever thought of using this for a build? Nobody. That's who. Just me, the Thorbin, the ultimate builder YouTuber. 15 minutes alone was used just to figure out the lighting plan for the build. This is always the hardest part of any build, in my opinion. And what I wanted was to have these braziers sort of things illuminating the arena. The first one looks awesome, but I wanted to try out all the different colors to find what truly fits best. There's cyan fire, but not cyan gem spark, so I painted diamond gem spark, but the glow was just not very interesting looking. Green is pretty neat, but I've used a lot of green gem spark in the past, so I wanted to do something different. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is just evil looking. Oh, this could work so well with something. I don't know what, but this is great for somebody's build idea. Do you need something to look aggressively evil? You now know how. That's all purple's got? That's like a normal glow. It's hardly even purple. Oh, that's so weak. I tried fusing some of the colors and learned something really cool. The yellow lights from the living fire and the blue from the sapphire gemspark combined into a mostly white light. I had no idea this was a thing, that the lights could combine into different colors. I might have to play with this some other time. After a lot of trial and error though, I settled on using sapphire gemspark walls painted deep yellow with ichor living flames. It creates a nice golden glow while also providing white light. I set up this wall, fence thing, and platforms, then added ebonstone brick wall and chains for some more detail, but now I wanted to add a sky beam to the central gem, like it's broken at all times, basically. This was like 2 hours into the build, and that's when chat pointed out to me that the gem holder thingy is not actually centered. I didn't believe it, so I had to measure and make sure. No! 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 No, 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 no! 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 I'm not fixing it. I'm not going to fix it. My main problem
problem with the build at this point is adding a second layer. The braziers don't lend themselves to expansion, and none of the walls I had felt like they could make a convincing column. From the first floor, and actuating the blocks made them too dark. As I thought of what to do with that, I created this broken wall layer. I wanted it to look like the purple sky beam was tearing apart the center of this castle-like structure, and this is what I thought of. I eventually thought I would suspend the second layer with chains. I also used Demonite brick in it, and there's this faint purple glow created by that block, which I think might actually work really well. I just haven't thought of how exactly. I did want to test and see what the Old One's army would look in the build as well, and it looks perfect, while also causing something odd. The portals are up 2 blocks in like above, I don't know, ground level, and the enemies spawn in by dropping down those 2 blocks. It's funny and feels like it slows the army down. Maybe this will work as a very minor cheese, but that's all the time I got for the week. Now, what I was thinking for today is that it might be fun. I don't remember what Plantera is like. You know, when you bring her out, the jungle, but let's bring her to the underworld, because, well, I've been bringing a lot of things to the underworld, but plants in hot place, that just seems right. Obviously, the first step towards this goal is to mine a hole down to the underworld so I can bring this sentient salad to hell. Dragging her down there is still obnoxious because she's so gosh darn slow. In vanilla, bringing the plant to another area on the map isn't the worst thing ever, but when she shoots a whole lot more seeds at you, then it's quite a bit tougher. When I was able to get her to the underworld, things didn't exactly get a whole lot easier. Calm down here, planty boy. Calm down here. Oh, planty girl. Oh! All right, now she's cooking. Now she's cooking with motor oil. Oh, it's so much damage. I kept breaking bulbs, and sometimes she'd flee, other times I'd die. I found a new lab, and she killed me again. It's already become quite difficult to find some of the Plantera bulbs, in particular ones near the underworld. I'd be curious if Calamity happened to add a summon for Plantera. Okay, this says... Yes! Yes! There's a portable! This makes things so much easier! Well, wish I had found that before spending a half hour dragging the plant through the jungle into the fiery hot place. I also thought it would be funny to have the wall there as well, so I grabbed this thing, which I thought summoned the wall. Still had to summon Plantera in the jungle, technically, but the jungle is basically touching the underworld, so I could get her down there easily. Now just need to summon the wall. All right, here she comes. And get the wall going here. Oh, I can't summon the wall, man. I died and then realized the item I thought summoned the wall, well, it does not in fact do that. So once I got the right one, it was time to get the two going at the same time. Yes, we got the wall in. Oh my goodness, it's fast. Ah, back off. Back off! Oh my goodness, these two. Oh my goodness, why did it separate? What is this? This isn't normal! This is not normal! This is highly abnormal! This is not, no! Oh, Plantera's gone. Oh my goodness! What is happening? Oh, I'm trapped! Routed. There we go, okay. Whew. No panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. What am I witnessing? Oh, that must have come with the update. That must have, yeah, that was the update when okay. Now things are making more sense. I still found myself running too far away from Plantera during the battle in the underworld. It's hard to keep her close enough to stick around while also not being blasted away, as being farther away makes dodging her seeds much easier. In theory, that won't be nearly as much an issue once I bring her to second form. That's just easier said than done. No! Oh, come on! I got it so far! Oh, hold up. Clouds, do not touch the clouds. We learned this last week. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, spiky. That's very spiky. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, whew. I'm too good. Wait, I was on a platform. Oh, I didn't know I was on a platform. No. Oh, no. Where did the platform come from? I did eventually manage to get her to second phase. Oh, this is so much easier. Oh, never mind. I mostly need to avoid the Aureus seed shot pretty frequently while also avoiding Plantera's dashes. Watch those dashes. Oh, we're out of arena. Actually, oh wait, we can double back. Go. No, Plantera, get back. Oh.
Come on. Come on. Yeah. Yes. Yes. We're surviving. We're surviving. There we go. There we go. And we can heal. Okay, okay. We're back in this. Ow, and I immediately got hit. Stay alive. Come on. Come on. There we go. That's some good healing. That's some good healing. All right, back to damage. Hit it hard. Hit it hard. Come on. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ugh. No!
What might be hard to notice is how hard it is to juggle staying far enough away to not be devoured by the cabbage's toothy maw, while also not being so far away that I have to fear her running away. Like, the moment I'd slow down or move closer is the exact moment she'd dash and be on me like glue. It was tough, but I am tougher.
We got adrenaline and rage. Go! Ah, we got her! We got her! Let's go!
One thing I've been messing around with a whole lot more in Terraria is wiring, and I wanted to see what else there might be that I can use for more interesting designs. Two sensors I didn't know existed are the day and night logic sensors. These things activate once it turns to day or night, so I decided to hook these things up to all of my lamps and lanterns so that during the day, all the lights turn off, and during the night, all the lights turn on. It's only really noticeable early day and the moment night comes, but it's super cool having all the lights turn on at night like street lights. I was hoping I could use some of these sensors to get the waterfall thing working here. It's a very old project at this point, but nothing I tried worked just right. Pretty sure my main problem is just that I can't leave anything running here while in other parts of the world because the world won't load it right or something like that. Messed with a couple of sensors, but I won't go into it because nothing worked. Basically what I want is actual water falling here constantly. No hammering blocks or walls for some waterfall imitation. I want actual falling water, but have yet to find a way that doesn't result in flooding when I leave. Now, I had nearly no hit the Calamitas clone on my first attempt, and I figured I'll just do that now, super easily. But, turns out that's not how things were meant to play out.
Need to, like, actually focus up a bit, though. I already got hit! Flee! 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 Is it actually going to follow? You can't flee! Fleeing was never an option. Calmly dodge all of the things. Oh, what do you mean that hit me? Let's just do it again. Darn it. Okay.
I gave up and returned to building. See, the Cavern Village has been needing some more love. It's always been meant to have at least 2 layers of buildings in it, maybe more, and right now, well, there's only one. Before building the next layer, there needs to be supports built, which include bamboo platforms, a craggy stone wall mixed with living leaf wall painted lime. From there, I expanded on the whole thing by making the small living mahogany bushes into small trees that held up the platforms, and it fits the vibe perfectly. From here, I spent quite a long time just adding more of these trees, and all that really amounted to was placing blocks for a very long time. You might be wondering how I moved between houses with these trees in the way, and well, that was solved when I had the genius idea to set up pressure plates that actuate the trees when I need to walk through them, and on the way out, the actuators turn the tree back on. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. Now I can use solid blocks more often than I have been using. Anyways, this is the results of all of the building. It looks absolutely stunning. I can't wait to keep adding more to this thing.
Almost night. Let's stick around till 7:30 so we can watch the lights come on. This just makes me giddy. Boom! Look at that!
I just about run out of time for the week, but I did have enough time to fight the boss rush once more, and while I do that, I just wanted to say that we've officially made it halfway through the year-long run. Thank you all so much who watch all of these videos, especially those of you who watch it all the way to the end. It's so much fun doing another year-long run. They're some of my favorite videos to make and favorite runs to play, and I love taking my time in this game and taking it slowly. So thank you. Your continued support means so much and justifies all this time that I put into this game. So thank you very much, and I'll finally, for the first time, kill the King Slime with over 800,000 health, only to immediately die to the Desert Scourge. Just for you. It's not much, but hey, we've actually made some progress in how far we can make it in Boss Rush.